Welcome to the Lisbon Sessions with David Russell of New Frontiers, exploring the Portugal Golden Visa journey with leading experts across the industry. In this episode, David takes to the streets of Lisbon with Werner Gruner of Get Golden Visa.
So, I'm joined on this moving Lisbon Sessions. We've upped the technology, guys. We've invested, we've spent all the New Frontiers dollars on a gimbal. Werner, I'm currently joined with the king, I would say, potentially, some might say, of the Golden Visa, Werner Gruner, CEO of Get Golden Visa, one of the biggest introducers of the Golden Visa in the history of the program. We're currently walking through a lovely Lisbon. We're both looking slightly anxiously at the camera. That is because it's the gimbal seems to have a slight mind of its own, but we'll do our best. Werner, thanks very much for joining me for this first moving version of the Lisbon Golden Sessions. We thought we'd take things out, seeing as we're now in a rather sunny spring climate in late Feb. We were having a chat on the way down. Off camera, just talking about the number of American investors that seem to be coming into the Golden Visa. Tell us a little bit about your experience recently of applicants or interest via the Get Golden Visa website.
Well, thank you for having me, David. Always a pleasure to walk around beautiful Lisbon on a very 17 degrees nice morning here in Lisbon. And thank you for calling me a veteran or a dinosaur or something like that of the Golden Visa program. In fact, we were working in this industry for many years, I would say, since 2014. And we helped many hundreds and hundreds of investors and families to apply for the program, either via the real estate route or the fund route or the cultural route.
Yeah.
Regarding as I normally say, if the world was becoming a better place, we wouldn't have any business, because nobody was thinking or would think of a plan B for themselves or for their families. However, this is not the case. We've seen a lot of political changes, geopolitical changes, extreme right parties or left parties in different parts of the world. We see wars like in Palestine, like in Ukraine, and all of that is a trigger for families to think of a plan B for themselves in order to have a better mobility, which is a key word in this in these times that we are facing. Now, in terms of Americans, Americans coming for the Golden Visa, it's nothing new. I would say that for the last 5 years, it has been the biggest nationality. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you asked me 6 years ago if we were dealing with US investors, I would say this would a little bit like going to the zoo to see a pink giraffe. No, not at all. Well, there were some Canadian investors, but not US investors. But for the last 5 years, we have seen an increased demand from US families from all over the US. It's not West Coast or East Coast. It's also Central US. We also have clients from, believe it or not, Alaska and Hawaii.
Is that right?
Okay, so it's all over the US.
Everybody tends to think it's all just the coasts, but it's a bit of a misnomer.
It's all over the country, and we hear the same every week. Is that the country is divided politically in extremes, social unrest, lack of tolerance, gun violence, and families are fed up, and they just want a plan B for themselves and their kids.
Yeah.
So also we are helping a lot of gay couples that because of the lack of tolerance, they are looking also for themselves as a plan B. And as you know, Portugal is a very tolerant country, and people feel safe here.
It is a very safe country. I mean, we'll have a wander over here. I think I've alluded to that on a couple of the Lisbon Sessions, Werner, as well, is saying that people will look, yes, you may want to use the Golden Visa as a pathway to Schengen. You may have other countries in mind, but if you ultimately choose to relocate to Portugal, you are relocating to a really cracking country. I mean, it's incredibly safe. Guys, we're down in the Chiado area, very historic, lots of tourists going about. There's no crime, there's no violent crime, certainly, not visibly. You don't feel unsafe. I'm wandering around with a laptop in my backpack. You don't feel that anybody's going to pickpocket you or take anything from you. It's a lovely, I mean, it really is a lovely
But
city.
it's not only if you think the reasons why people select the Golden Visa, for instance, one of the success of the program, okay, although it's Europe, it's one main reason to have as a second citizenship. I would say then second is Portugal, because as we were discussing, is a very tolerant country. And third is because of the minimum stay requirements that is unbeatable compared to other programs. That is the 7 days in the first year or 14 days in periods of 2 years. Of course, we know that there are a lot of investors that started the Golden Visa, but eventually, when they retire or later in their lives, they will consider to live here. And why is the reasons behind? I would say that there are several reasons behind. One of them is, you mentioned, is very important, is the security. So Portugal is a very secure country. We are number 7 in the global peace index. So it's a very secure country. Then we are quite central in the world. If you look at
it's a good
Portugal.
time zone to be on as well.
It's the same time zone as London. So in 2 hours flight, you are in London. You are closest to US and Canada, closest to South America. In 2 hours 45, you are in Frankfurt. Okay, we are not close to Asia, but the rest is quite manageable and quite central. Then, as you know, and you've been coming here, David, for many years, English is widely spoken. So in every bookshop, in every restaurant, in every coffee shop, people speak English.
Which is a huge, it's a huge difference as well. You feel a part of you feel you can integrate quite quickly.
Then I would say that the cost of living compared to other European capitals, it's much lower.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Then I would say that the healthcare system is also good. The public healthcare system is good, although we all have private insurance just to have a quicker consultation or so. But in general, healthcare is very interesting, and I think we will see an increasing health tourism in the future by Americans for small operations, small consultations, because the prices over there are just ridiculous in terms of the healthcare costs. And also education for clients that have small children that they want to relocate here. We see an increase of international schools. So you have several English-speaking international schools, the American school, 3 English-speaking schools outside Lisbon, also in Lisbon, French, German, Spanish. So you have an interesting variety and choices in terms of international schools. So the food, you also know, the Portuguese food is always. This is why my wife tells me that I'm getting a little bit fat. I say I'm not getting fat. It's the quality of the shirt that is not so good, and when washed, it shrinks.
It's shrunk. Okay? Of course. It's always the clothing.
Yes, I also blame it on the nata cakes, but it is what it is. But this is the main reasons why people. It's not difficult to live in this country, to be honest with you.
Guys, I've been joined by the king of the Golden Visa, Werner Gruner, owner of Get a Golden Visa. We're wandering in Lisbon. We're going to take a little break, have a coffee, and we'll be right back with some more footage in a minute.